Hey guys, Sure Shot Midget here. So I have another P80 Glock build to do a video on. So this is not mine. This is my brother's. It is a Glock 43, as the title says. This is the box for it. And I'll go over exactly what parts make of it. But here it is in all its glory. Of course, it's not much. It's really small. Now, I have a Glock 43 as well. It is a P80. Some people might say, why would you want a Glock 43? You know, low capacity, single stack, like who does that? You know what I mean? There's lots of micro 9s and double stack, like the P365, a couple of others, you know, the Smith & Wesson Plus, Shield Plus. But they're all thicker. That's just a fact. The 43 is pretty much as thin as you can get, but you trade that for capacity, and I'll get into that later. But the only reason why I built mine is because, well, they make 80% lowers. Like, if somebody were to ask me, I'm going to buy a pre-built gun, I would not say go get a Glock 43 or even the 43X. I mean, those are a little bit better because they hold 10 rounds, and you can get a kit for it that holds 15, the shield arms, mag. Not sure how well those run, but you can do that with those. This, you really don't. The 43, the actual, you know, single stack, thin, short one, you can't do that with. The mags are not compatible. Like the 10 round from the X will not fit these. So some negatives in turn, pretty much capacity. So to start off, this slide is from Zaffari Precision. I have Zaffari parts, so it's a nice slide. I think it's Cerakoted. He bought a kit from them, so it literally came with the frame. He bought the sights somewhere else, but it came with the slide, the barrels from Zaffari, and then the trigger was from eBay, and the kit also, the lower parts kit and upper parts kit came from Zaffari as well. It was like their build kit or whatever, so it came with the P80 frame. So helped him build it all, and it turned out pretty well. We haven't shot it yet. He doesn't live in Ohio anymore, so he had to, you know, dip back in a plane, fly back. So I'm here to test it. You obviously really can't fly with guns. It's really hard to. So it's here. So I'm going to do the first shots and basically break it in. So again, to start off, the slide is Zaffari Precision, and so is the barrel. Both of those parts are Zaffari parts. The slide on here is in a gray color. It's kind of a dark gray, so it's really hard to tell the difference, almost like a gunmetal, I guess you could call it. It is optics cut, so he doesn't plan on adding an optic, though. It uses a different pattern than regular RMRs because it's thinner. I forget, RMSC, if I'm not mistaken, something like that is what it uses. I didn't really recommend him to mount anything. It's a concealed carry type gun. I don't like concealed carry or optics on my concealed carry because it's just too big, in my opinion. That's my opinion. With the job that I do, I cannot have a bulky big gun. So this thing works out really good for me. It really does. So back to this one. It does have the gold barrel from Zaffari. I will disassemble it here so you can see that. Again, the kit came from Zaffari. In terms of the spring is very similar to the OEM Glock spring I have in here. I got a cheap kit for this Glock, and it came with a really crappy spring guide. This one seems better, so I'm hoping this one holds up. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get a OEM Glock one for my brother. We'll see how it works. The last one I had came undone. Literally, like, it unthreaded itself and launched itself into orbit. And that happened while I was shooting it at the range, so pretty screwed up. And here's the Zaffari barrel, gold. I'm not 100% sure what finish it is. It might be like a titanium gold. They have them on their website. If you're interested, just go to their website, man. I'm not an encyclopedia. I didn't order these parts either, of course, because he built the gun. And I just helped him. The slide just has the standard parts kit in it with the plastic back cover. The sights on here are Ameriglow. They were, I want to say, like $80 from Amazon. Might have been closer to 70. I'm pretty sure it was 80 free shipping. And they're awesome. That's the same set I have in mine, and they glow very, very well, and they were decently easy to install, at least on mine. On his, they were a bit harder because the Cerakote finish is like thicker, so I almost recommend like filing down a little bit of the back sight to get it on there easier. The frame here just is a basic parts kit with a gold adjustable trigger. Now that came from eBay. I got the same one, and basically it just cuts out the play. So it's still a curved trigger, but there's like no play. Can you see it? Literally like a millimeter of actual play, and then it starts to pull the striker. Reset, like it's super short. So it cuts out the play, and for a concealed carry gun, it's actually pretty important to have a decent trigger, in my opinion. You don't want something too light, but you definitely don't want something that you're going to be stringing shots in a stressful situation when you pull it out. It's kind of just literally a millimeter of play, and then it hits the striker. And so it's a very, very nice trigger. And for a cheap price. So the pull is probably, I want to say, it's a little bit harder on this, but this just needs some break-in. I guarantee it would break in and just be like this. So after it's broken in, I would say 4 pounds, 4.5. And that's dang good for a striker-fired handgun. Now, these use a different trigger kit than the 19s and the 17s. I have a 19 and a 17, and the trigger is definitely heavier on those. It's just the way the trigger system is designed. On the 43, it is totally different. Like, it's different on the install. Those of you that have built 17s, 19s, 26s, you will know that this uses a completely different catch system, basically, for the striker. So like I said, the reset is ridiculous. I mean, literally just a little bit of play. And the trigger, the upgraded trigger really doesn't do anything for the reset. Even the stock trigger that was in here reset really short on the Glock 43. It's just the way it's designed. And then this is mine. Yeah, short reset, and of course there's no play in front of it. It's just the safety in like a millimeter. So both of them are really similar in terms of the trigger, literally the same brand, they just sell different colors. And I got it on eBay, I want to say it was like 40 shipped, maybe 30. I'm pretty sure it was 40 though. Decent price. I adjusted it and I red Loctited the screws so they don't move. His barrel is about 3 inches, mine is about 4. It's like 3.98, so because mine's threaded and it is rifled all the way to the end, it is more like a Glock 19 length barrel. And that means you get more velocity. I don't plan on putting an attachment on here ever. And it does stick through the bottom of my holster, but it doesn't take up more space, and it's just a little bit better to have an extra inch of barrel on mine for velocity. And with his, I would probably use 115 grain as well, the lighter load in my opinion. Now, in terms of magazines, my brother bought 2 6-rounders. This is what I'd recommend to do. Buy these 6-rounders, OEM, Glock, and then buy the Vickers Tactical. It's basically, what is it, Tango Down is the actual manufacturer. It is a +2 base plate, and it goes on the bottom, and it gives you 2 extra rounds, so you get 8 rounds. And you have steel lining in the magazine, so they are very strong, and they feed the best. Again, he got 2 of the base plates and 2 of the magazines. What's funny is you can get these magazines on eBay because they hold less than 10 rounds. So I think they were like $22 a piece, so like 45 shipped for 2. And then these, I think, were 15 a piece, that's 30. So the mags aren't that cheap. For good mags, as you can see, I held this up. This is what I use. That is the magazine with the base plate. I have 2 of these, 1 in the gun for carry, spare in the glove box of my car, and then this 3rd one is a range magazine, and it has the silver base plate, so I know this one's for range, the black ones are for carry. And as a side note, these magazines actually have little tabs so you could strip it if it gets caught, because the mags don't drop free. have to press really, really hard. You have to use your other hand basically to press it hard enough to get the mag catch in enough. It's not a good mag catch. Like with my thumb, I just can't do it. It is super, super heavy. And when the slide's open, it's even worse because there's no pressure from the mag on the slide. So you have to strip these. So it's very important to have those there so you can ditch the mag and reload. Is a ETS. There's two of them. This one is a 9-round. This is 12. These are not very good. Now, these are decent mags for range mags if you just want to use at the range for cheap. But these magazines are 3 times better, just hands down. This one always jams on the last round because the spring is too weak. Like even just pressing it, you can feel the spring is twice as powerful on this one. So the last round always jams because it just doesn't have enough spring pressure to actually feed. I also spent $30 on this magazine with the plate on it, the X-Grip. And it's just not a good magazine. These are not good mags. And I'm not bashing X-Grip because they make this thing for a lot of their mags. The ETS mag is crap. Now, they also make a 12-round. This one's not as bad, to be honest. It has a little bit heavier of a spring, so I don't normally see a problem with feeding. One concerning thing is, well, the front of the magazine breaks. So the front of the magazine literally breaks. It's cracked. Can you see it? It literally breaks as the bullets feed. Now, of course, that'll stop to a certain point. These mags have maybe had 300 rounds through each, so not too little, but not too crazy. This one actually works decently, but just don't buy the 9-rounders. If you want a 12, you can get it, but for carry mags, please get the OEM Glock. So I'll give you a close-up here of everything. It's like a gray slide with a black frame.